It's more than bragging rights. It's the Battle of New York. The Jets and Giants clashed here in NFL preseason week 2, and we're breaking down everything you need to know about the New York Jets before this preseason game. Hey Jet fans, welcome back to another video on Jack Talks Jets. Today we are going to be previewing the New York Jets versus the New York Giants preseason week 2 game ahead of this coming Saturday. Let's get right into the video. So first of all, we have to say what an amazing job the New York Jets starting offense did last week against the Green Bay Packers. I have some clips pulled up here right now. I'm about to show you guys some of the clips from the Jets offense last week in Green Bay. They did very well, and this is the starting offense, but the entire offense in general played amazing last week. Brady Cook really impressed me. Adrian Martinez really impressed me. Braylon Allen, Donovan Edwards, Quentin Skinner, so many names that I can name right now who really impressed me last week against the Green Bay Packers. But right now, it is time for me to show you some clips from the offense, from the starting offense last week on why they were so electric against the Green Bay Packers. And, just overall, just everyone looks so smooth. Before I show you this, I just want to explain that, everyone looked so smooth in the offense last week. Justin Fields looked nice and calm, very good pocket presence, was able to check it down to Andrew Beck a couple times, didn't really need to heave it up, make a big play, and that's exactly what I said. I said last week in the game preview, I don't need some electric playmaking by Justin Fields. I just need a smoothly coordinated offense, and that's exactly what we had last week, which is amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better offensive game last week against the Packers. So right now I'm going to pull you up some of the clips I pulled from the Packers game from last Saturday. So let's take a look at some of them, and I'll get back to you guys in just a minute.
Really amp the competition up front. Shotgun formation. Field. I think double digits for the season.
So that is just some of the handful of plays that this amazing offense had last weekend against the Green Bay Packers, which was absolutely amazing. Again, so proud of this offense. I was so impressed by this offense, and hopefully they'll be able to continue this fire come tomorrow versus the New York Giants. So let's get into some of the backups to look out for tomorrow versus the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. So I'm gonna read you guys a list of names who I think are some Jets that everybody should be watching out for tomorrow. Brady Cook, obviously he had a great performance last week. Really excited to see him. Adrian Martinez, again another quarterback. This is the battle for the QB3 spot if the Jets are going to keep one between Cook and Martinez. So I'm excited to see that. Donovan Edwards, who had himself a game and has been practicing a lot in kick returns and punt returns at training camp. So, that can mean something right there. So Andrew Beck, the fullback, obviously he had a great game. Arian Smith, Quentin Skinner, Jamal Pritchett, Tyler Johnson, all four of those guys wide receivers. Really impressed with Tyler Johnson last week as well. Going into the season, I still have this feeling. I think Johnson's probably going to be around wide receiver 6, wide receiver 5. But after that performance last week, I can see Johnson maybe being wide receiver 4, wide receiver 3 if he really steps up to the plate. His performance last week was absolutely electric. And if he can play like that throughout the course of training camp and preseason, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if he ends up wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 3 of this team. He played absolutely amazing last week. More names you have Jay Tufele, who had an amazing debut game with the Jets last week against the Packers. Just absolutely amazing. Had a strip or had a fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown, excuse me. You have LT3, another defensive tackle. Marcelino McCurry Ball, linebacker, who I think right now is the linebacker 3. It's a battle between him and Jamin Davis, which, by the way, is the next name on this list. Jamin Davis, right after Marcelino McCurry Ball, who, these two guys are going at it right now for the linebacker 3 spot, and I'm so excited to see who ends up winning it. In my opinion, I think McCurry Ball is going to end up winning it come week 1 time, but again, just really excited to see these two ball out on the field tomorrow. Quantez Stiggers for a cornerback of the Jets. I expect to see a lot of him tomorrow with Sauce Gardner out with that calf injury. I do not believe Sauce Gardner is playing. I don't want Sauce Gardner to play just because, us Jet fans, we already have some PTSD from calf injuries with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, before Rodgers even tore his Achilles, he already had a calf strain in practice. So we don't want that to happen to our guy who we just paid $120 million to. So, moving on to some training camp updates for the Jets. Justin Fields here in training camp with practicing 7v7 with the Giants defense did not look very impressive, really. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of tape of him from this training camp with the Giants. He was missing a lot of balls. His ball placement, was not that impressive. His accuracy wasn't that great. So a few things to improve on there for Justin Fields. Hopefully he can get the track hopefully he can get back on the right track. I think he will. I think it maybe just has a bad practice. Everybody has a bad practice every once in a while. But the thing that concerns me is that this has happened a couple times with his accuracy and his ball placement. So hopefully that's not an issue in the game tomorrow. And speaking of these quarterbacks, keep me on track with the quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor's out with an injury as well, a knee injury. I mean, I'm not really sure how long that's going to take. So the Jets are trying out a couple quarterbacks in Nathan Peterman and CJ Beathard. So I mean, neither of these guys are really impressive for me in terms of backup quarterbacks, especially Nathan Peterman. Nathan Peterman was just awful in the NFL. I'm sorry to say it, but Peterman is probably one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play. When he was with Buffalo, I mean, I remember when he was with Buffalo, I mean, he was just so bad. I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy in real life or in person, but in terms of the NFL, he's just not great. He's just not great. If the Jets sign him, we're doomed. I think we are doomed if Peterman ever sees the field in the regular season for the New York Jets. Honestly, I don't want the Jets to sign him. I don't think they should sign him. I don't even think they are going to sign him. I think it's just, a tryout for Peterman. I think Martinez and Cook are going to be fine in tomorrow's game with Fields. I think they're going to split it, evenly among those three. Now it's time to move on to what expect offensively and defensively from this team. We're going to start with the offensive side of the ball. Expect more passing this week from the Jets than running just because of that heavy, Giants defensive line, which is arguably one of the best defensive lines in the entire league with guys like Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, and Abdul Carter. And Brian Burns, so expect a lot more passing this week than running. You still expect some running. Like, I guarantee you, Braylon Allen on 3rd and 1, they're gonna pound it with him up the middle there. But I definitely expect a lot more passing than running, especially because we are going to be a run-first offense this year. But we're gonna have to adjust every week based off the defense, and in this case, the Giants defensive line, one of the best, if not the best, in the entire league. So we're probably gonna have to adjust to more of a passing offense this week, I would say. And expect lots of pocket escapes for quarterbacks such as Justin Fields or Brady Cook or Adrian Martinez. Expect a lot of pocket escapes for them again because Armand Membu, Olu Fashion, all these guys are going to be tested tomorrow against this Giants defensive line. And if it's a problem, which it very well could be, I could see a lot of these quarterbacks scrambling for their lives tomorrow in the field, which is what I do not really want. I mean, I'm a little worried about Justin Fields starting tomorrow. If you have guys like Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence on the defensive line, I'd have to double check if any of those guys are not starting tomorrow. But if I had to guess, at least one or two of them is starting tomorrow. I know for a fact I think Abdul Carter's starting, but I'd have to double check. I guarantee you probably two of those three I listed are playing. But still, I mean, that's still two scary D linemen at least. But these guys are just going to be chasing these quarterbacks left and right in the field. That's just what I believe. Expect a lot of Breece Hall receptions. I think Breece Hall is going to be a good receiver tomorrow. I think he's going to be more of a receiving back, I guess you could say, than your typical running back. I guess you could say for tomorrow's game. And expect a lot more Arian Smith. You can expect a lot more of Arian Smith tomorrow based off of what I've seen in training camp, based off what I've seen in last season's preseason game against the Packers. I'm starting to believe in this guy. I mean, honestly, I was not a fan I don't think any Jet fan was a fan of this pick back in April when they picked him in the 4th round. I was not even a fan of it in the first place. If you guys watched my, my mock draft, and if you guys watched my Next Gen Jets show with Connor Long over on his channel, then you know that I was really, really high on Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris heading into the 2nd round or the 3rd round. Like, my dream draft scenario was Tyler Warren in the first at 7, Ariante Ursary at 42, and then Trey Harris at 73 in the 3rd round. That was my dream draft for that year, but unfortunately they didn't get that. They waited until Arian Smith to draft a receiver, and I was really pissed. I mean, and when I say pissed, I was really, really freaking pissed. Like, I wanted them to pick a receiver, but not him. But recently, Arian Smith may be proving me wrong. I mean, this guy's a speedster. He can catch. I mean, if you guys seen that catch that he made, it was either today or yesterday. I believe it was yesterday that he made in training camp against the Giants. I mean, he went up and got that like a contested catch. I didn't expect him to be a good contested catch guy, but if he can make these types of catches more often, then I'll start to believe in him 100%. I already am starting to believe in him. I'm already starting to regret me not liking this pick based off of what I've seen so far from Arian Smith in the preseason and training camp. So, I mean, Arian Smith has a lot on his plate to succeed this week. Huge test, like I said, for Armand Membu this week, going up against guys like, for example, Brian Burns. This epic Giants defensive line will be a struggle for this offensive line, guarantee it. But iron sharpens iron, which is, I guess, the upside to this. You have Armand Membu, a rising rookie who has already had a good NFL debut against the Packers and has already had a good training camp so far with the Jets. I'm excited to see him go up against a challenge like Brian Burns, for an example. So, I mean, this is a huge test for Armand Membu to prove that he's the solidified right tackle for the New York Jets. Again, this is all progress for this offensive line. They will get it together soon if they don't have it together already. Again, this is just preseason week 2. So, don't panic. Don't hit the panic button just yet. I would say maybe come preseason week 3, the last preseason game, if this offense in general isn't clicking, or defense somewhere along the line of the team isn't clicking, that's when I would start really to look for the panic button. But as of right now, it's still preseason week 2. Aaron Glenn is still disciplining this team a lot, so I expect a long, long road ahead of us this season. Some more tight end screens, maybe even some screens to Andrew Beck, who really impressed me last week against the Packers. I'm going to expect Andrew Beck to be a lot more involved in tomorrow's game. Expect a lot of screens to Beck. Expect a lot of screens to Stone Smart as well. Stone Smart could get involved with the offense tomorrow. A lot of tight end screens, maybe even some fullback screens for Andrew Beck. And a lot of Donovan Edwards. I do believe that Edwards will be in some capacity involved with special teams tomorrow, whether that be punt return or kick return. I do think Donovan Edwards will play a key role in special teams tomorrow against the Giants. If I had to guess, I'm probably going to guess kick return if I just had to make a guess. But expect a lot of things from Donovan Edwards tomorrow, even at running back. If they put him at running back, they're going to feed him the ball a couple times. Expect a lot of things from him tomorrow, but mostly on special teams. So now let's move over to the defensive side of the ball, what to expect defensively from the Jets. The first thing I'm going to say is do not expect Sauce Gardner to play tomorrow. Do not expect him to play. I don't expect him to play. I don't want him to play. Like I said, we already have PTSD from those calf injuries. Lots of Quantez Stiggers. Since Sauce Gardner is out, expect a lot of Stiggers on the field. I do like what I've seen so far out of Stiggers so far in training camp. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do tomorrow. Expect a lot of Michael Clemens again. I mean, again, he had that fight last week against that Packers offensive line. You saw the video of Aaron Glenn pull him to the side, yelling at him, being a very disciplinary head coach, which I love. So hopefully that knocks some sense into Clemens, and hopefully he's going to be better tomorrow. I mean, he wasn't really all that impressive last week. I mean, he was kind of just there. But I'm excited to watch him. I mean, Aaron Glenn really, really likes Michael Clemens. So if Glenn sees something in Clemens, I'm all for it. I'm all looking to see what Clemens has in there. If Clemens has a beast inside, then I would love to see that beast become unleashed for this preseason game. If Clemens can prove me wrong, I think anybody can prove me wrong on this team based off of last season for Michael Clemens. Expect a lot of heavy control up front for the defensive line. And what I mean by that, expect a lot of Jets defensive linemen absolutely manhandling this Giants offensive line. I mean, this Giants offensive line is ranked 29th in the NFL, and this Jets defensive line is arguably maybe a top 15 unit. I would say the starting defensive line, especially our edge rushers, I would say. I know Q is not playing, so that's going to be a little, breather for those guards for the Giants, but you have Will McDonald, who is playing tomorrow. You have guys like Michael Clemens, who is hungry for a roster spot. You have a guy like Tyler Brandon, a hungry rookie. So expect a lot of dominance from the Jets defensive line tomorrow against this Giants O-line. That's what I expect, at least. Maybe a couple sacks, a few turnovers, whether that be, getting Russell Wilson in the pocket or, in the backfield in the pocket, since, he's not really as mobile as he used to be. So maybe some of these guys can really catch up to him. Maybe pull a Denver Broncos game 2 years ago when Quincy made Russell Wilson fumble with like a minute and a half left, and Bryce Hall returned it for a touchdown. So maybe we can pull one of that on them. If the Giants decide to pass a lot, which I totally expect them to pass more than they run, like we probably will tomorrow, just because that running back room is not really that impressive for the Giants. But expect a lot more passing from both sides, I guess I should say. But maybe a few interceptions for the Jets. Maybe we could see if Quantez Stiggers can get his first pick. So, I mean, yeah, I think just a lot of things, a lot of different things, I guess you could say, to expect tomorrow for the Jets and the Giants, both compared to last week, especially for the Jets. The Jets seem to be a lot more run heavy, I would say, last week, but expect a lot more passing this week for the Jets is all I could say. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. Hope you guys are having a great day today, and I'm really excited to see this Jets team absolutely dominate the New York Giants tomorrow and be the official kings of New York. I mean, really, we have been for a long time. We own the Giants. They haven't beat us in 14 years. It's almost been 15 years since the Giants have last beat us. I mean, give me a break. The Jets are the true kings of New York. And for all you Buffalo fans out there who are saying, oh, we're the real New York team, you're not in New York City, okay? I get it, we play in East Rutherford, but we are the New York freaking Jets. Okay, so anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. If you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. New goal is 350 subscribers by the end of the year. So let's get to that goal. Share this podcast with any Jet fan, any sports fan you know. We are going to be on Spotify starting tomorrow night. Yes, that is true. Spotify starting tomorrow night. If you're listening to this on Spotify already, then this video was posted last night, Friday, August 15th, 2025. This episode will be on Spotify tomorrow night, come Saturday, August 16th. So again, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you all next time. Peace out, Jet fans.